What's going on, everybody? It's Bryan Williams here. We're going to be doing some pork shoulders and some brisket today. I just wanted to go over pretty much what we're doing here. We have a pork shoulder here. This is called a New York style pork shoulder. New York style meaning it has the Boston butt and the shoulder attached. So the Boston butt's here. The top part is the Boston butt. If you ever go to the store and do a pork roast, you're usually using the Boston butt. And then this is the shoulder, also called the picnic shoulder. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to rub these guys up. You have the picnic shoulder and the Boston butt over here. And I'm going to just rub these up with some barbecue. And also we have brisket. Brisket over here is the breastplate of the cow. Okay? It is a big fatty piece of meat. Okay? It's got a big layer of fat. This is also going to give it a ton of flavor. And what I usually get is I get a choice Angus cut 13 up. What that means is it's 13 pounds or heavier, because when you cook this stuff, guys, you're going to go for 18 to 24 hours. It's going to shrink up. It's going to lose a lot of juice, a lot of moisture, a lot of fat. So from 13 pounds, you're probably only going to get about 7 to 8 pounds of meat after all the cooking is done. So you want to make sure you get really, really heavy piece of brisket here. All right? So I'm just going to start rubbing our pork and brisket. This is a rub that we made earlier this week. Remember we did a rub, I believe it was Monday, I did a rub recipe. So this is just a rub. I'm not going to put too much on it. I don't want to waste it, but I want to make sure I put enough to cover all the meats. So what I do is I just like to pack it really, really generously all over the meat and on the skin side as well. Just make sure all the exposed meat has most of the rub. It doesn't really matter too much on the skin. You're going to want to put some on the skin, but we're going to be taking the skin off when we serve it. So most of the rub needs to be on the meat side, so we can really flavor your meat and get a nice little bark going. Bark is that caramelized layer of the pork or the beef. It really gives it extra texture and added flavor. Go over here and work on the brisket. This job can be a little messy, so just make sure you're working where you can get a little dirty. I'm going to rub all this stuff in real good on the side. And the breastplate of the cow is going to be, that's where the brisket is. You get two pieces, so there's a breastplate on the left and the right. There's a breastplate. So 2 briskets per cow. This is one of the most flavorful pieces of beef out there, just because of the fat content. And also with the brisket, the one reason why you have to cook it so long is because the animal uses this muscle a lot, just like the rump. Whenever you have a rump roast or a brisket, you have to cook it a long time because of all the connective tissue, and the animal uses the muscle a lot. So the more an animal uses a muscle, the tougher the meat is, and the longer you have to cook it so it becomes soft. So that's why it's going to take us about 18 hours to cook this brisket. So there we go, guys. You have brisket 13 up, nice and heavy because it's going to go for a while. And you have 2 pork shoulders, New York style, Boston butt, picnic shoulder, skin on, bone in. This is going to give you the best flavor from your meat, and just the best opportunity to get that fat rendered down into the meat, to season that meat and make it really, really good after you do all your smoking. So once again, we got pork shoulders for pulled pork, brisket for a Texas style hickory smoked brisket, and I'll see you guys out there on the smoker. All right? Again, Bryan Williams. Stay tuned. Take care.